So your alien had a room at the Holiday Inn for Alice?
It might have been a room on the spacecraft made up to look like a room at the Holiday Inn. I can't be sure about that, Peter.
Of course not. And that is the whole problem with aliens, is you just can't trust them.
Bill Murray, Ghostbusters, can't trust them. Looking into aliens spotted in New Jersey, but all kidding aside, folks in the Garden State are wondering what's up in there in the sky. Unexplained red lights spotted in the sky near Whippany, New Jersey. Police say it's probably a helium balloon with flares attached, but others, they're not so sure, including our guests who videotaped what they saw, Paul and Cindy Harvey. Paul's a veteran pilot. Good morning to both of you. How are you?
Great.
Good morning.
What day did this happen? What did you see?
This was Monday evening when we saw these 5 red lights in the sky.
5?
Yeah, we saw 5. There were reports of 6 or more, but we saw 5 from our backyard.
Cindy, what did you see? Describe it.
Same thing. There were 3 red lights that were in a triangular pattern, and then 2 that were ahead of them, just sort of floating, drifting in the sky. Strange.
Did your neighbor see this?
You know, we didn't call our neighbors.
You haven't talked to them?
We do,
I figured this has got to be the
winter.
topic on your street.
You would think, yeah.
In the wintertime, we don't see each other much.
Okay. Now, Paul, do you think there are aliens in New Jersey?
Well, you know, I'm not sure myself. I'm not a big believer in UFOs or aliens, but, you know, this leads you to wonder.
Yeah, do you have kids?
We have 3 children, yes.
They okay?
They're all good.
They haven't been abducted?
They were nervous. Our 11-year-old is the one who spotted them, so we need to give credit to Kristen. She was doing homework and looked up and saw them outside.
And you got the video camera out? What did you do?
Yeah,
Yes.
Cindy grabbed her still camera, and I grabbed the video camera and took the video of it.
Okay, Paul, were they red? Were they white? Were they blue? What were they?
They were red. I probably can't see the color real well on the video, but they were red lights. They were pretty bright.
It looks a little white on this videotape, but I take your word for it.
Yeah.
Now, you're a pilot, right?
Yeah, I do have my license, yes.
You've flown how many hours?
I probably have about 500 hours.
Okay. Now, ever seen anything like this?
I've never seen anything like this, no.
So what do you make of it?
I don't know what to make of it. The patterns were very unusual. We live very near Morristown Airport, and right in the landing pattern for one of the runways, and coming from this direction that we're looking at, and never seen anything like this coming from that direction.
You'll allow me to be the skeptic here, right?
Absolutely.
And the emails are going to fill out too.
Mr. Glass half full.
Just so you know. Yes, I am half full.
Can I just say one
half full
thing?
of it.
Can I say just one thing? That on that video, it looks like they're twinkling. That's because you're seeing them through our trees in our backyard.
Okay,
They're
all right. I appreciate that clarification.
They are solid, straight
I want to show you something from Phoenix, Arizona in April of this year, all right?
Okay.
Have you seen the picture?
Yeah, yes, we have.
Does it look like what you saw the other night?
I watched it on, I Googled last night, and I was looking at that, and I was creeped out because it looked just the same as what we saw.
Okay, they've determined that in Phoenix, some guy filled up a lot of balloons with helium, put a red flare on the bottom, lit the flare, and off the balloons went up into the air, and they drifted away the way the wind direction went.
That's what people are speculating, but I'm not positive that that's possible for it to really work that way.
Why not?
You know, as we analyze over the past couple of days what we saw, you start to think flares put out smoke, and we didn't see any smoke. You know, if you go to a July 4th celebration with fireworks, you do see the smoke off the fireworks, but we saw no smoke.
Now that's interesting. Did they burn out? Did they dissipate? What do they do?
They kind of just drifted out of sight. A couple of them appeared to take off in one of from that triangle. One of those seemed to either drop out of the sky or from our the perspective was hard at night, but it may have taken off. And one of the 2 that are being pointed at right now in the horizontal seemed to take off to the south in a very fast pace.
All right. Well, we'll take your word for it, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Paul.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate for coming in today.
Thank
all
you
right?
so much.
Best to your children
Thank
in the
you.
new
Thank
year.
you.
Glad
Thank
they're
you very
okay.
much.
They are the most credible, believable UFO guests I think I've ever seen.
I had an answer for everything, too,
And
didn't
from
they?
New Jersey,
Yes.
not from the middle of nowhere like
Well done,
sometimes it is.
Cindy.
Nicely
Well done, Paul.
What do you guys think? America's Newsroom at FoxNews.com.
Though I can't confirm it, billions of galaxies, trillions of stars. With all that out there, it's entirely possible that intelligent life exists somewhere else in the universe, right? I mean, come on. The real question is whether it exists in Jersey.
Didn't really know what they were. They were very bright red lights. They were just kind of floating along.
Those lights showed up Monday over New Jersey's Morris County, and the 911 calls started coming in.
It didn't seem to be moving at all. It was very, very distinct.
greatest things. I've never seen anything like it.
I've been in the aviation industry for about 20 years, so I knew they weren't airplanes.
I would imagine there could be anything. UFO? It's possible. Why not? What'd you think those red lights were?
Aliens?
Well, why not? Would it be so hard to believe aliens have been hanging out here?
New Jersey's like the melting pot of the world, so I guess it's time for UFOs. If they're coming, they might as well come here first.
Actually, the lights came to Arizona first.
I walk back outside and I see these weird red dots and I kind of, oh, that's no stars.
I grabbed the camera. I was very excited because most of the time my family thinks I'm an exaggerator.
Well, she wasn't exaggerating this time, but those were not UFOs.
When I got out the binoculars, I could see that they were actually swaying back and forth as a pendulum.
Perhaps like road flares attached to helium balloons?
I could distinctly see a trail of smoke rising and going off to the northeast, away from the flares.
Yeah, that would explain it. In fact, someone admitted pulling the stunt in Phoenix, but New Jersey does not seem convinced.
Sort of streaked down toward New York, and the final one just kind of went blip.
So for now, better keep watching the sky, in case more aliens show up to attack us with road flares. Go Jersey.
We're 25 miles out of New York City, where a lot of people here have claimed to see strange lights in the sky. This could well be the first UFO sighting of 2009.
I know this is going to sound crazy.
I know. 5 red lights over the sky.
It's a little eerie.
Looked up at the sky and I saw these 3 red blinking lights. The color was a very deep red. The light that was closest to me actually started moving, directly overhead, and it just sat there. It had to be like 4, 5, 6 times the size of a jet plane.
Did these look like flares, or do they look different from flares?
I did not think of flares when I saw these things.
I've been in the aviation industry about 20 years. I do have a pilot's license. I've never seen a pattern like this in the sky before. 5 red lights in the sky in a very unusual pattern. I called the control tower at the airport. I know a bunch of the guys that work in that control tower, and so I called down there and spoke to one of them, and he said to me, I see the lights, I don't know what they are, we're not talking to them.
If you're interested in following the rest of this investigation, log on to www.history.com/UFO Hunters. And remember, every piece of evidence brings us one step closer to the truth.
"2009 got off to a surprising start for the residents that live in and around Morristown, New Jersey.
I've never seen anything quite like it.
Yeah, the red lights in the sky. I have no idea, so I can see them on my camera, but don't know where they're coming from. All right, we'll call Morristown Airport. Maybe they know something about it.
Police say the unidentified flying object was nothing more than flares, a theory UFO Hunters has already tested and proven implausible. For the Hurleys, the spectacle captured the attention of even their youngest child.
Tell us exactly what happened and what caught your attention about these lights.
Well, I was sitting doing my homework on the floor with my dad. He was facing behind the window. I looked out and I saw these 5 red lights. I was scared. I didn't know what they were.
Paul Hurley shows Bill video he shot from his backyard.
2 lights here, horizontal, and then back here are 3 lights in a triangle pattern.
These lights are moving without any independent movement. They look rigid. And look at this.
Yes.
You could almost make out a frame in here.
That's right. Right, and these 2 stay the same distance apart from each other.
I want to take this back to my team and have a photo analyst kind of go through this to figure out what these lights might be.
It would be wonderful.
Up next, the team analyzes the footage, and their finding is nothing short of amazing.
That thing's just enormous.